Hello everyone. Okay, you guys, so I am back again with how many more videos? Let's see, 6 more videos, y'all. God is definitely speaking in this season, and I'm personally trying to keep up, okay? Well, my name is Rosalind Streeter. I am a seer and prophet of God to the nations, and on this journey you will soon learn that it's just so much easier with God. All right, you guys, let's chat. Okay, you guys, so I am back with a actual dream that I had, and this is related to our children, you guys. So every parent, oh my God, uncle, aunt, anyone who has kids that they love, you guys, please pay attention to this video, because God is definitely allowing us to see certain things that is going on in this season, and he wants us to be aware, and he wants us to cover his children, okay, which he allowed us to have. So I'm gonna get right into the dream here, and then I am going to, after the dream, I'm gonna go ahead and let you hear a direct message from God related to the dream and this season related to his children, or the children he allowed his children to have, right? All right, so here we go. So within this dream, I just remember I was in a house, and I was, it was like I was home or somewhere, and I was talking to another lady that I knew, and we were talking about business, y'all. We were just talking about a lot of different things related to business, the videos and all this stuff, right? So we're just talking. So soon, entered the door was a young lady, and she probably was about 12 or 13. But within this dream, I represented her mother, okay? And so when she came in, she looked so disappointed in me. And as soon as she came in and I saw her face, I looked at her, and I just remember saying, oh man, I forgot about her again, right? And as I said, I forgot about her again, I saw her coming off the bus. Okay, I end up getting like a glimpse or a little vision of her getting off the bus, and that's when I was like, oh man, I forgot about her again. Okay, so she walks in, she had this little piece of paper, and the paper, actually on the thumbnail you will see, it looks like a little note, like from a sticky pad, and she had it in her hand, trying to grab one, because y'all know how I am about the vision, right? And she had it in her hand, she was looking at it, and she was like, yeah, these are on cars that are around the bus stop. Okay, so as soon as she said that, I had a vision of different cars just sitting at the bus stop, right? No one's in them, but they're just sitting at the bus stop. Okay, and so as she said it, she was like, they're like little notes, okay, and they look like this, and they also look like the one on the thumbnail. And she was like, yeah, you forgot me, and with the disappointment of like, wow, there's trouble out here, and you forgot me. You forgot about me. You forgot about the trouble that's lurking, right? And it just hurt my heart, y'all. Even though this wasn't my daughter, but because I represented her as a mom within the dream, right? It hurt my heart. And so I was like, man, I was so busy, but right, no excuse. And so when she looked down at the little piece of paper, it was like it's a note or something, like it's marking, and I remember hearing in my spirit, mark cars, okay? So these cars are being marked, and they are sitting at different stop signs, okay? Now, as she was reading it, God allowed me to see, she was like, yeah, and it's happening to my friends too. When she said that, God allowed me to see their phones, or not their phones, I'm sorry, their bus stops, okay, and different cars. I'm talking about it, it could be a car, it could be a van, it could be like marked cars, and they have these little notes on them, right? And if you think about a child, they are curious, right? So if they are, let's just say, getting off a bus or whatever the case may be, and they see a sticky note or they see a little note on a vehicle, a lot of times they're gonna pick it up or something, or they may move towards it or whatever the case. So after that, that was the end of that dream, okay? So then I was asking God, because during this, as she was speaking, I knew it was human trafficking, okay? So I knew that's what the marked cars are for, and what they're doing is actually taking our children. Or it's like a setup for our children, right? And so I was asking God about it, and y'all, God is not playing about his children. He's not playing about his children, okay? And so let me just go dive right into the direct message from God related to human trafficking and just all that's going on within that, okay? And it's not even just human trafficking that we have to cover our babies from, okay? So this is what God said. He actually just said this today. I'm like, the 22nd, he said it today. So he said, tell the parents this is a mandate. Cover your kids. There is so many demonic people possessed, and they're ordered to take over your kids, their minds, and their bodies. They have marked certain areas to collect a certain percentage of the youth in that area. As God said that, I could see people writing down stuff, like just kind of creating this plan of the percentage that they need from different areas, okay? It's crazy. All right. He said they have marked certain areas to collect a certain percentage of the youth in that area. Tell me, why do they do this, Rosalind? Because if they can get to your youth, they can get to you, your bloodline. Your bloodline will be interrupted by Satan's plan to delay you, to distract you from my will for your life. Okay. Rosalind, they're coming for the ones that are uncovered, where the families can't be there for them, and they are not present to tend for their own. Would you take your child? This is a question God is asking all parents, you guys. Would you take your child and drop them off in a lion's den, then leave so they can fend for themselves? What would be left of them when you return, if you return? So at that very moment, God showed me a vision of a lion standing right in front of a little child, you guys. And I mean, what would you think a lion would do with a little child, right? Think about it. He said, tell my children before they release their children, pray over them. So here's your instructions for your children. Pray over them. Do not discount prayer. He said, I'm watching and listening to you. Teach them how to pray, and I will be with them when you are not. Don't trust the enemy in this season with your children. The closest ones to you watch and they pray over your kids, just as your enemies do. I hear conversations and plots, so this is what I began to hear as God was speaking. I hear conversations and plots being said about wicked plans against you and your child. Please, children of God, listen to my messenger. The message sent to her, through her, by me. I know exactly what I am talking about. Any and everyone, hear your child. So God's saying, listen to your child, when they come to you. Don't discount what they're saying. It's something important. Ask me about them. I will reveal it to you. At that moment, God was talking about there's people around you that is praying, P-R-E-Y, on your kids and on you. It could be something where, I hate to say it, I just dealt with a client and, her husband actually gave her and her kid over to the enemy, right? And so it's like, you never know who's against you and smiling in front of you, right? And so God is like, any and everyone is close to you, okay? that you feel like you need to ask God about, he's going to reveal it to you, but you have to ask him. Like, Lord, I know this is my uncle, right? But what about him? Or I know this is my father. What about him? The grandfather of my kids, what about him, right? Or this is my mother. It could be anyone who's close to you. Okay. So please, children of God, listen to my messenger, the message sent to her through her by me. I know exactly what I am talking about. Any and everyone hear your child, ask me about them, and I will reveal it to you. I will confirm these things. Listen, I've already shown you warnings. I let you discern the times and what's going on with your kids and the ones that are plotting against them, says the Lord. But you, says the Lord, you ignore me. Why, says the Lord? I hear you say, no, it can't be. My child is just acting out. That person loved me. They would never touch my daughter. They would never touch my son in that way. My cousin, no, they would never think this way about my children. My uncle looks at her, and I knew it was my daughter, right? When God said this. So he was like, my uncle looks at her, he's talking about a daughter, different. My uncle looks at her different, but he would never hurt her. You guys, says the Lord, wake up. He says, see the spirits behind the person leading this person. Listen to your child when they say someone makes them uncomfortable. Listen, and I just thought of teacher. Okay, so teacher just hit my spirit. Listen to them if, that's teacher makes them uncomfortable. Listen to them. Listen to you when you sense, when you discern someone is making you uncomfortable. Then I heard God elevate his voice, y'all, and he just yelled, and he yelled with strength and pain, and he said, cover my children. My God, y'all. I have felt it when he said it today. He was like, cover my children. It's like we're so distracted that we feel like it's not important. You guys, this is not back in the day where kids can just do whatever. The enemy looks for kids that feel the same way, like they can do whatever with no coverage. That's who he's looking for. And then also, as God said, cover my children, y'all. I saw a vision of kids being tormented. I saw a vision of kids falling with death, you guys, because they're being killed, you guys. Because the enemy don't care about the enemy don't care about us, so why would he care about them, right? And it's only because of the uncovering, okay? So then God said, pray over your kids at night before they leave your presence. And most importantly, put on the whole armor of God. Teach them what this means. Reference the Bible, you guys. And why it's important. Do your part, says the Lord. I gave them to you for a reason. Y'all hear that? God said, I gave them to you for a reason. Okay. My children will do great things for me in my kingdom. So all of God's children, they have a future. They have a purpose for God's kingdom, right? But he said, this is your mandate to cover them, and I will do the rest. I will command angels on their behalf to protect them and scatter the enemy's plan. The enemy is growing in numbers, y'all, because he knows his time is about up. I beg you, God said, I beg you, children of God, do your part. Oh my God. God said, what you do for them, I will do for you. And what you do not do for them, I will also not do for you. God said, take time to talk to them, love them, teach them about me, teach them about their father, their loving father, you guys. There's so much happening, and it will only get worse, right? So as the end draws near, things are going to happen. It's going to get worse, right? And that's biblical. All right. And then God said, don't allow your child to go through unnecessary trauma, all because you were not there. And then God said, I'm done, Rosalind. Thank you. So when he said, don't allow your child to go through unnecessary trauma, you guys, at that very moment, I could just sense God was talking about, and even I'm talking to adults now, the parents, right? That you went through certain things in your past. You know, maybe you was raped, molestation, you had to go to jail, or there was just certain things that you went through in your past, and it wasn't because of you, it was because you wasn't covered, right? Have you ever, you just think about, man, if I was in this certain position, or if my family did this for me, or if they had this for me, or whatever the case may be, it's maybe things would be different. If they didn't leave me with this person, maybe things would be different, right? If they didn't discount what I said, about this person, the warnings, right? This person would have never had me. This person would have never did anything to me, right? And it's because when you're not covered, it's like a disconnect, right? Because it's like the communication isn't there. So even if your child is speaking to you, you're more nonchalant about it. It's like, oh, okay, you're a child, go back in your room, right? You don't know what you're talking about. When God is like, hey, discern what your child is saying, discern what I've already shown you about this person. Even if they have something for you, right? Over your child, come on now. So this is instructions. It's also a warning, like this is your mandate. God gave you these kids, you guys, and God is saying you need to cover them and protect them because the enemy is preying on them in this season like never before, and the numbers are growing, and there's different areas that they are looking to, okay, because they know, whereas this area, parents are picking up their kids, they're walking home with their kids, and they got this area, no one's picking up the kids, right? They're allowing their 5-6-year-old to walk home by themselves, right? 5-minute walk. Now, everybody has their own situation. I get it, you guys, and I get that everybody has a job and everybody has all this stuff, but I will say, compared to what God just said, y'all, this is more so excuses, right? And so even though we do have all this going on, let's put together a plan, right? Is there people in your neighborhood that you trust, and y'all can kind of create this team, and everybody can take turns being at the bus stop, or making sure the kids get home, or maybe carpool, right? You have someone who would go pick up the kids a certain day out the week. This is just stuff I'm throwing out, but I'm just saying, I just don't want you to be like, oh, well, I can't be there for my child, because that's what the enemy wants. He wants you to say, I can't be there for my child because of my job. Okay, he's like, yep, check. Okay, that's what he wants. So please don't give him that. Yes, I have a job, and I pray that you say this. I have a job, and my child is important. And because of this mandate that I know of at this very moment, I'm going to cover God's child that he gave me. He didn't have to give him to me. He gave him to me. And I'm going to figure this thing out, and I'm going to start making phone calls because God's going to lead you. So create that desire. Start moving towards a plan for your child. I encourage you to take a moment, sit down with your child. Say, hey, let's just have a quick family meeting. I want to talk to you a little bit about, school, the things that's happening in school, people around you. When you get off the bus or when you get home, how do you feel? How do you feel going to school? Is there anyone bothering you? Let's open that communication, because eventually what will happen, your child will automatically come to you. Okay? All right, so I know it's a mouthful. Very passionate about the children, right? So let's protect our kids, you guys, and cover our kids, everyone. Let's start praying more, seeking God's face. If you don't know God like that, and you can't really, well, he's talking to his children anyway, so you know God. and learn more about them. And as you're learning, have your child come in with it. Maybe, you can start with a devotional once a week, y'all. Once a week, allow your child to read a devotional with you. And that once a week would turn into once a day. And then it would turn into your child wanting to read the Bible by themselves and learn about God. Start with the armor of God, you guys. Start with the armor of God. All right, so that's all I have related to this stream. All right, so please, this is an important message. And of course, go to God with everything that I share with you, okay? And again, please, I pray that you take a moment and say, Lord, at this very moment, just say, Lord, reveal them to me, y'all, because this is war. This is war, and I pray that you guys are putting on your boots right now, okay? Spiritually, because it is war. And we got to go to battle. We got to go. We can't be scared, can't be fearful. Let's go to work for these kids and for yourself, right? All right, so I'm so in love with love. God is love, and we love you. Bye.